Most fictional stories rely on exaggeration. They introduce dramatic events, invented rules, or imagined worlds that behave very differently from our own. But modern science has revealed something more subtle. Reality already behaves in ways that conflict with everyday intuition. Physics, neuroscience, and cosmology consistently show that many things we take for granted, time, perception, memory, and space, are approximations rather than direct experiences of the world. These ideas don't come from speculation. They come from measurement, observation, and repeated experimentation. What makes them interesting isn't emotional impact, but the way they quietly change how reality feels from the inside. This is 5 things about reality that are more interesting than fiction. Number 1, you never experience the present. It feels natural to assume that you experience events as they happen. In practice, this never occurs. Every signal from the world arrives late. Light takes time to travel. Sound travels even more slowly. Your brain then requires additional time to process and interpret that information. To make this delay usable, your brain predicts what is happening and stitches sensory input together into a smooth sequence. This is similar to watching a live sports broadcast. Even though it feels immediate, there is always a short delay between the event and what appears on your screen. The broadcast compensates so the experience feels continuous, but it is never truly live. Your perception works the same way. What you experience as now is actually a reconstructed version of events that occurred fractions of a second earlier. The present moment isn't directly experienced, it is inferred. Number 2, observation plays a role in how reality behaves. At everyday scales, objects seem to exist with definite properties, whether or not anyone is observing them. At very small scales, physics shows a different picture. Particles exist as probabilities until measured. Measurement doesn't merely reveal a hidden value, it helps determine which outcome becomes real. This doesn't mean consciousness creates reality, but it does mean interaction is fundamental. Imagine checking traffic using a navigation app. Before you open the app, multiple routes are possible. Once you check, the system updates and commits to a particular route based on current conditions. Your interaction changes, which outcome becomes relevant. In quantum physics, measurement plays a similar role. Certain properties do not become definite until interaction occurs. Reality, at its most fundamental level, is not fully specified in advance. Number 3, memory is not a recording. Memory often feels like a stored file, something that is recorded and replayed. Neuroscience, though, has shown memory works differently. Each time you recall an event, your brain reconstructs it. Pieces of the memory are reassembled based on context, emotional state, and current beliefs. This reconstruction process means memories can change over time. Details shift, and emotions soften or intensify. Think of opening a document, making edits, and saving it again. without keeping the original version. Over time, the document reflects the edits more than the initial draft. Memory works the same way. This understanding is not just theoretical, it's actively used in trauma treatment. In PTSD, certain memories become rigid, emotionally intense, and repeatedly re-experienced as if they are happening in the present. Therapies such as trauma-focused cognitive behavioral therapy and EMDR rely on the fact that memory becomes malleable during recall. When a traumatic memory is recalled in a safe, controlled environment and paired with new emotional or contextual information, the memory can be reconsolidated differently. The event itself doesn't change, but the way it is stored and accessed does. This works because memory is not fixed. The same property that makes memory imperfect also makes healing possible. Number 4, you never see reality directly. Perception feels objective, but it is interpretive. Your senses collect limited information. Your brain then builds an internal model of the world based on that data. Color is a response to light wavelengths. Depth is inferred from visual cues. Motion is calculated from change over time. None of these are observed directly. This is like using a GPS map. The map is not the territory. It is a simplified model designed to help you navigate efficiently. It omits details, exaggerates others, and prioritizes usefulness over accuracy. Your perception does the same thing. Different species experience entirely different versions of reality based on their sensory equipment. No organism experiences the world as it is, only as it is interpreted. Number 5, the universe may be finite without having an edge. It's common to imagine a finite universe as having a boundary. Modern cosmology suggests this may not be the case. Space may be finite in volume, but without edges, much like the surface of a sphere. There is no edge on a globe. You can travel indefinitely without encountering a boundary. If you walk east on Earth, you don't reach an edge. You eventually return to where you started. The surface is finite, yet unbounded. Space itself may work the same way. If so, the universe doesn't exist inside anything else. There is no external frame of reference. Space and time together form a closed system. Everything that exists is part of that structure. These ideas don't rely on imagination. They arise from how reality behaves when examined carefully. Time is reconstructed. Observation matters. Memory evolves. Perception interprets. Space may have no boundary. Reality doesn't need to be invented to be interesting. It only needs to be understood more clearly. Thanks for watching.